And I got laid off from that job, and at that point was when I just decided that I was never gonna work for anybody else again. I was like, I had to work for myself. I had to be in control of my own destiny. I had to be able to call my own shots when it came to what my future was gonna be, financially and just, mentally.
You think the person that laid you off is driving a Rolls Royce?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They aren't.
All right, man. So live with us, we've got Gary Murray. Thank you for coming on board with us today.
Appreciate you inviting me.
Real estate developer and mentor, and we're going to learn a lot about that today. Thank you really immensely. I know you don't do a ton of public productions, especially something that's to this magnitude. So we definitely appreciate it. Now, with that being said, we took a tour of the most amazing Rolls Royce Cullinan that I've ever seen and laid my eyes on in person. You've converted me. You've made me a believer. So tell us how do we even get this? How do we get to this point?
That's my baby. I actually haven't even named her yet. I'm looking for a name, so if you can help me out, maybe we can come up with something.
I don't know, man. Vanilla sherbet or something. I don't know. Vanilla sherbet, right? Vanilla beans are normally actually black in their natural state, and then you got the sherbet in their in the guts. We'll figure that out.
I got Wayne Gretzky. That
sounds a hell of a lot better than vanilla sherbet.
A couple of different things I heard, but the color combo, everybody definitely compliments on.
I love it, man. So how do we hop into this? So talk to us, man. Where are you from? Did you come from money? Was it always real estate? Like how do we arrive here? Take me from don't take me from birth, but catch me up from when you really started thinking about what you were going to do career-wise to how you actually got into the game that you're in now.
Right. So I mean, my beginning, I've always entrepreneured for the most part. I tried my hand at working jobs, 9-to-5 jobs. When I was coming up, I think I had about 3 total.
Okay.
Just regular jobs, first jobs. And it was my very last one, and I was still very young, but my very last one, I believe I was about 20 years old.
Okay.
And I got laid off from that job, and at that point was when I just decided that I was never going to work for anybody else again. I was like, I had to work for myself. I had to be in control of my own destiny. I had to be able to call my own shots when it came to what my future was going to be, financially and just, mentally.
You think the person that laid you off is driving a Rolls Royce?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They aren't. But they did me a huge favor, and I'm very thankful for them firing me or laying me off at the time.
I heard that.
Because if it wasn't for that, I probably would have continued the cycle of being on a hamster wheel and wondering why I'm not where I want to be. So for me, I took it very serious at that point to be in control of my own financial destiny, and for me, that meant being my own boss.
Did you go to college?
I went to college. Went to 2 colleges, okay. And I didn't graduate from either one of them. So I didn't have the best experience with completing college either.
How far did you get?
I had fun. College was fun, I can tell you that. College was fun. I had fun in college. I had fun in 2 colleges, So if you get a degree for something like that, then I have a degree. I have, bachelor's or something, maybe even a doctorate, and just having fun in college.
So I got to tell you from the rip, though, before we even start going on this, I have a dirty secret. I have a dirty secret to actually expose.
Okay. What do you?
I did not like these at all.
No?
I hated this car.
Oh my gosh.
I hated the car. I have a close friend, and this is a car, he wants this car so bad, and I thought it looked ridiculous. I thought it looked like a big-ass brick with it just had no curves to me when I saw it. It just looked ridiculous, and I thought it was a waste of time and money.
It may surprise to tell you, this actually is a car it's meant to be hated. And that was one of the reasons why I bought it. This is a car that's meant to be hated. You buy it for people to hate on the fact that you have it. I mean, this is the most absurd way, probably the biggest way to throw money in people's face right here, coming down the street, $500,000.
I will tell you this, right? Taking a look at this car, and this isn't the first one that I've seen that changed my mind, but I'm solidly in at this point. This is probably the most beautiful Cullinan that I've seen. I'm a fan of keeping things mostly stock, so I don't want to see like custom 38s on the truck or anything like that. Having a complete blackout package, the orange leather interior, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. What's the sticker price on the car?
This one was $495, but at the time when I purchased it, it's about $20K over sticker to buy it. When I bought it, I got it for $25,000 over sticker price. So it's definitely $500,000.
$525,000. So let me ask you, what was your first business venture post, your layoff?
Okay, post layoff, I was going to say, because if you started before, I mean, I was always the kid who was out there. I was shoveling snow.
Okay.
I was raking up leaves. I was washing cars. I think my earliest one, as a juvenile, as a kid, looking to make some money was I used to put puzzles together and glue them to cardboard. And I used to give them to my mom to take to work to sell them for me.
So the entrepreneurial bug started really, really early in life then. That's incredible.
Right.
Okay, so now you're out of a job, you're in your 20s or 20, and you're not working for anybody ever again. So what's the first venture?
So as I was there, it was a friend of my father's was a real estate investor.
Okay.
He was, into more so like doing rehabs and things like that.
Okay.
And he was a real close friend of my dad's, and he pulled up on us one day. I was with my dad, and my dad was in the towing business. He pulled up on us, and he was in a brand new CL 500 coupe Mercedes-Benz. And at the time, that was $100,000+ vehicle. And I didn't know many people at that time who was on the right side of the law who was able to acquire or accomplish that kind of thing. So that was very inspiring to me. So it sparked something in me. It was like, what does this guy do? Soon as he left, and my dad and as soon as he left, I said, Dad, what does he do? What does that guy do? And he's like, oh, Gary is his name. His name is Gary also.
That was your first time?
Yeah, Gary. My dad's Gary and I'm Gary. So yeah, the three Garys. So he's like, yeah, he does real estate. He's into real estate. I said, yeah. He's like, really? I was like, man. I was like, like what? He's like, well, I know he does some rehab stuff or whatever, but he's like, you really want to know, just give him a call, and give him a call. You can hang out with him. I'm sure he'll take you on. And that's literally what I ended up doing. Is I got in touch with him, and I started hanging out with him. That's the first place where I learned the value of exchange value, being able to exchange value with somebody. So it was like, for me, it was like, all right, I want to hang out with this guy. What can I do to bring value to the table,
Okay.
So whatever he needed done when it came to the projects, if it was cleaning up, if it was going to go make store runs and things like that, I was there to do it. And I did not charge or ask for money at any point during the time that I was doing it. I literally did it to be able to learn as much as I could. And he was okay with that, and we were able to exchange value.
I think that's a lost concept in our generation today. Really understanding the value of experience, the education that you get by shadowing someone and not necessarily being paid for it, but being paid in terms of the knowledge and the experience that you get. Everybody's looking to make that quick dollar, and they're very short-sighted there. So,
absolutely,
kudos to you. How long did you work with Gary before you ventured out on your first project, or maybe did you partner with him and did he, tutor you or guide you through your first project? How did that work?
So my first project, he definitely got me in good shape as far as the knowledge that I needed and the information I needed to be able to start my first project.
Okay.
And it wasn't long, to be honest, before I took that leap of faith and invested in myself. And that's really all that it took. I didn't have much money at all during the course of the time. I had some money saved up while I was working for the University of Pennsylvania, which was the last job that I had.
Okay. What were you doing there, by the way?
I got laid off. I was doing computer tech work for them.
Okay.
And I saved, some money from doing that, but I had really good credit, which was instilled in me also at an early age to keep, good credit. So I had credit cards with lines of credit. My very first property I purchased by taking cash advances from the credit cards that I had, and I bought the first house using cash advances off my credit card.
Wow.
So it was really like taking a leap of faith in myself and investing and believing in myself. I had some cash on hand from working there. I used that to buy it. And then from there, I just continued to do odd jobs with, for other people, things that I learned, trade that I learned, to be able to save up more money to get my own house done.
That's incredible. So are you a buy and hold kind of a guy, or do you flip them? How does that work? Are you in residential or commercial or both?
I'm in a way different place than where I was, when I initially started.
So when you started, where were you?
When I first started, I was doing, I started, that one was my first rehab. But then I started to learn how to source deals, which was something that I learned from Gary also in the beginning, was how to source deals and the power of being able to source deals.
Let's back up some.
The value in sourcing deals.
What does that even mean?
Sourcing deals is being able to find your own real estate deals without going out to like an open market, like the MLS and places where it's publicly known that it's on sale to the whole world, to everybody.
Okay.
So I found, my best deals by not going the mainstream route to find properties. And I became really, really involved in a practice that has become known today as people call it wholesaling.
Okay.
And wholesaling, when I started was really a thing that kind of catapulted me even further financially in real estate. And then from there, I just took it to the next level from there. So I began sourcing deals, but not selling them. You want to make sure you get the center console. Center console is executive package. As do they say, when you purchase a Rolls Royce, you don't buy a Rolls Royce to actually drive it. You purchase it to be driven in. So in part on having a Rolls Royce to be driven in, you want to make sure you're as comfortable as possible, you and your passenger. And that's why I made sure that I got the center console and also the lamb's wool carpets.
So
yes.
do you drive this more often, or are you driven?
Definitely driven, definitely driven. And when passengers get in, we shoes off because we have fur carpet. Now, if we're gonna put shoes on, we just turn it over and we get inside like that. So, wanna be my guest?
Absolutely, yes, yes. I feel rich right now, I'm gonna be honest with you.
And on a rainy day, you gotta make sure you bring your umbrella.
There it is, there it is.
For a rainy day.
Oh my God.
Bang & Olufsen.
Oh, it is Bang & Olufsen.
Right.
Okay,
and
wow.
It's
awesome.
$10,000 upgrade for the sounds.
All right, I need you guys to contact my agent whenever you need to speak to me from now on. I hop in the back of cars now and I'm driven. So normally I don't really speak directly to the public anymore. I love everyone, but this is where we got to start separating ourselves from the back. Oh my God, yes. Yes, yes, this is what I needed in my life. Let me tell you something. If you don't think you need one of these, you're right, you don't. However, you should get one if you can get one. This is ridiculous. How many years were you in before you touched, let's say, like your first million? Like how many years did it take you to get to that point where, even if it wasn't there in cash, you had it in equity,
Right.
Somewhere it was there?
I would say it took about 5 years.
Okay.
5 years.
What was, looking back on, not your career, but looking back on your business life, what were some of the major challenges that you had? I mean, clearly you got a chance, I don't want to say to skip the line, but you did it right because you came into the game with good credit, which is obviously important,
right.
For leverage purposes, but I'm pretty sure you still had, a significant amount of challenges getting to where you are today. So what are 2 or 3 of the largest challenges that you have had to deal with up until this point, and how did you overcome them?
I think one of the largest challenges, I feel like if you can overcome this, you can overcome them all. Again, was once I learned the value, exchange value, it helped me to be able to get my foot in the door. And I think for a lot of people, that's the biggest challenge for getting to where you want to be in real estate or getting to where you want to be in life in general, is being able to get your foot in the door, being able to get in those rooms amongst people who are doing what it is that you want to do so that you can learn how to do what it is that you want to do, getting them to be open with you and teaching you those things and as well. A lot of that has to do with, integrity is one. Obviously, two, showing them that you're really serious about what it is that that you're looking to do, that this isn't just something that you're gonna, learn a couple things and then fall by the wayside and go, run off. Literally showing people that, the true definition of what it is that you're looking to do, and just be open and honest with people. If you are around to just learn things and you want to, that's fine, be open. But hey, I'm able to bring this value to the table as well. So when I wanted to learn new construction development, I didn't know people per se right off that, oh yeah, this is a person who does development who's just going to give me this information. I was able to get into new construction development because by me sourcing deals, the guys who were doing the development, what did they want? They wanted vacant land to be able to do the development.
Yeah.
I was the guy. I was the man at that point. And I had inventory. I mean, I at one point, I would keep a minimum of 40 vacant parcels around the city. So whenever I wanted to sell something, I was selling it to developers.
Without a problem, just
right. So I didn't just let them just, just sell them stuff. It was, I have some things to sell. What's going on with you guys? What do you got going on? Oh, who's doing this? Oh, who's doing that? Oh, okay. Show me how. Okay, well, who's the contact person for doing foundations? So I had something to bring to the table, and they didn't want me to disappear. They wanted me to keep bringing the deals.
Yeah.
So they were willing to show me, what it was that I wanted to know.
Incredible.
Whether they wanted to or not, because in some cases, some guys, that they really didn't want to, but it was like, well, damn, he's the man. He's got the deals. Like.
So let me ask you this. Where do you go from here? You clearly have, you've achieved a certain level of success, right? Are you satisfied if it all stopped now, and this is where you landed? Are you cool, or are there some bigger things, on the horizon for you?
Always bigger, man. That's how I always going about it. Always bigger, always looking to take it to the next level. I'm not a person that stays comfortable for very long. So, again, like I told you, when I first started, I did a rehab. I got into wholesaling, went from wholesaling to doing more rehabs, and then eventually doing new construction. New construction started off with one single family. The challenge at that first single family, once I broke that challenge, it was easy from there, as long as I stayed at that tier of doing single family. But then as I started to progress, again, another mountain ahead that I had to climb, which was breaking into how to finance larger structures like multifamilies and things like that. And now I'm at a place where I'm working on mixed-use development stuff, which is a whole nother avenue, a whole nother place. And again, it comes with its challenges. Funding a deal for, a $10 million, $20 million deal, when the typical deal that you were funding previously was 1 million, 1.1, and then even earlier, 300 to 500. It's a big difference, but it's just as challenging to break that barrier as it is for a person who never done it at all before. So I started looking at it that way too. The person who was looking to be able to fund their first new construction deal, it's a challenge for them, but it's the same challenge essentially as it is for me to break into the next level. It's just a matter of connecting the dots and putting it together.
Okay, so if I, and let's say our viewers, are interested in getting into real estate development, you said it took you about 5 years before you realized your first million. I imagine because of the wealth of experience that you have today, you could do it over again, but a lot faster, right?
Yeah, well, times are a lot different too when I first started, again.
Better or worse?
I think it's better in a lot of ways because there's more access to information than what it was when I was around.
Okay.
When I first started. And there's a lot more avenues of people who legitimately have put in the work and are legitimately, like myself, willing to share and teach other people, other individuals, how to get there. So, previously, like when I was younger, it wasn't too many people. I literally had to connect the dots myself. I started off with, what I learned from one mentor, but I didn't just leave it there. I could have just stayed in that place. but I didn't want that. I wanted to continue to grow as do now. And, the future for me, hotels, I like to do shopping centers, also, more mixed use stuff as well. Just larger projects, the whole entertainment facilities. Those are the lines of the type of developments that I'm, aiming to break into.
Incredible. So what's the value of the portfolio today?
We're around 17 million right now.
Incredible. Incredible. What are you reading?
I'm
Do
reading.
you read? Are you an avid reader? I have maybe I might have a misconception, but what I found is that a lot of people that are successful in business, even if they're not physically reading books, they're listening to them or they're learning,
I'm a researcher, so I don't necessarily have like a particular published book by any particular person, but when I want to learn how to do something, I'm an avid researcher. I'll Google everything and I'll find every article. Like, for example, I have a property that I have approved, and one of the tenants that I like to get is Target. So I like to get a Target retail store inside of it, the Target Express. And I started Googling, searching until I found a couple commercial brokers who actually have brokered deals with Target so that I can converse with them and learn directly from them what the parameters are that they're looking for stores or shops that they want to be in.
Oh, yes.
Out comes your picnic tables.
Oh, my goodness.
And your rear entertainment.
Oh, my God.
Same thing on my side, because if I could do it for you, I want to make sure that I can do it as well.
Oh, my God.
So then we both have control at this point of not only what's on this screen, but what's also going on up there. At the push of a button, we have controls here where all of our audio is controlled. We can control the volume for back here.
Oh, wow.
The sound system, as well as your door close button as well. And right now, I don't want to be bothered with the outside. I close the door with the push-up of a button.
Oh, this is amazing.
So we get a little bit more privacy that way. Another key feature here is we actually can recline our seats. Actually, this one is already deeply reclined.
Okay.
But you have controls to be able to recline and raise up your seats right here in the rear. So rear seat passengers can recline a bit more to get more comfortable.
Awesome. Okay. Wow.
Another feature inside of here is we obviously have refrigerator.
This is a jaw drop.
As a part of this executive package. This package alone for the executive package is about $19,000. So literally it's the price of it. Yes, for this whole center console right here.
For the console?
Yep.
So you bought a vacant lot.
A Civic.
Basically.
It's a Honda Civic sitting right in the middle of the car.
Incredible.
A new Honda Civic.
Wow.
We have a refrigerator in the back
and
where we keep champagne glasses, and you can see there's frost on there.
And you didn't source these. This comes straight from Rolls-Royce.
This comes Rolls-Royce. These glasses
let's get a close-up on that. How do we open this? We just pull it up?
Lift up a tab.
All right.
And they're crystal.
Nice little chairs. Boom.
Hear the crystal?
Look at that. My goodness. Are you even living right now? Are you even living right now? I mean, if this doesn't motivate you, honestly, I am ready to go run through 1,000 walls right now.
I just love the sound of crystal when it.
I can't afford to replace these yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this back. So, a couple of takeaways.
As a minority, we got to be honest. It's a whole nother game for us to be able to break into these rooms.
What has that meant for you?
Than others?
I mean, if we're really going to talk about it, you're a black man that is successful in real estate. It's a tough market to play at, especially, at the level that you're playing. What does that mean for you? Or what does that mean for people that are watching you?
It means that, you have to, all right, so I look at it like this. If you got 10 people and we're all the same and we're all, we all want to get out that door right there, how many of us are going to get out that door? And to be honest it's not it's not just the first person out the door, it's the person who keeps trying and keeps trying and keeps trying. What happens is when people get doors slammed in their face, unfortunately, that's something that you just have to grow to understand is going to happen. That's something that you just have to grow to expect that it's going to happen. And what are you going to do? You're going to give up? You're going to quit? Or or you're going to keep after it. So it's really not about how many times you fall. Like I said, how many times the door gets slammed on you. It's the person who continues to go for it. So that's what I would say. If all 10 of us are going to get out that door, if it gets slammed on you once, you come back and you try again, and you try again, you come this way, and you come from this side until we all get out.
Relentless. So you spoke a lot, you hinted a lot at mentorship, the importance it's had when you were a mentee.
Right.
And how important it is it's really for anybody to win, not just in the real estate game, but truly in any game. So what are you doing actively to mentor people who obviously, other than being on Wheels and Wealth, because simply being here and sharing some of these these gems and some of this insight is truly mentorship for our viewers. But what are you doing actively to mentor people that want to get into the real estate game? Are you doing anything?
So I have created a program where I'm actually working with people and learning how to do new construction.
Okay.
And the reason why I started with new construction, I could have started with, any particular area. But again, a part of my growth is being able to show people. So, for example, I used to do wholesaling. I used to mentor people in wholesaling. But I don't feel that space anymore is for me.
Okay.
I'm so removed and moved on, there's no point in me going back to teach that. I've taught people how to teach that.
Okay.
Same thing with doing new construction, single family. That's a game where, pretty soon I'll be completely out of that. I still do teach people how to start off with that because I always feel like that's a good foundation for people. However, as I grow, the people who I've mentored, I pray, I hope that they will continue the legacy of teaching others how to do what it is that I once taught how to do. So, I'm pretty much in a position now where I've shut down a lot of areas of mentorship because I'm focusing on getting to that next level.
Okay.
And I always, I always keep the last step where I just was. That's what I'm teaching right now. So a lot of that right now is helping people how to do new construction, multifamily development.
Awesome. So as we start to wind down our time together today, the name of our show obviously is Wheels and Wealth, so I want to circle back around a couple wheels, fire a couple quick questions off at you before we close out, right? Love this, Cullinan. You did agree that, I can keep it for the next 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, right. So just some random questions.
For life, mentally.
I know, listen, I don't play around when it comes to my ambition. I've owned some awesome cars. I'm not at this level yet, but I plan to be there very, very soon. Cars have always been, they're important to me. One of the things that I found is that a lot of people, especially non-car folks, are quick to tell you what's not important. And, dressing like a bum seems to be cool today, right? Driving anything seems to be, what do you do with the money? We're here for a limited period of time. To me, cars have always been a form of art. They're just movable art that you can see and you can experience. And they've always been a tool to motivate me to go to the next level, right? Being in a position to purchase a certain car lets me know that that's like a check. I hit a milestone, and now I'm working towards the next vehicle. The same way people might feel about playing golf or doing anything, that's kind of how I view cars. It's experiential for me. But with that being said,
Beautiful, definitely.
Random questions. Top 5 cars.
Top 5 cars that I've owned?
No, what's in your top 5? Like the top 5 rappers. Top 5.
Top 5. So I definitely would love a Pagani. In no particular one, honestly. I think they're all beautiful.
Yeah.
I could do Koenigsegg for sure.
Okay.
Bugatti, Chiron.
You clearly are at a different level because every car you just mentioned starts at like 2.5 million.
2.5, yeah, just about. Yep. Each of those vehicles are roughly begin about 2 mil, 2.5.
Pagani, Koenigsegg.
Yep.
Bugatti.
I'm a hypercar fan, so don't get me wrong. That's why the name, like you said, is those are all hypercars.
Yeah, I love it.
For sure. I'm a Ferrari man, okay? I mean, you probably already know that already because of, a couple of things that I've had.
Yes. Don't be shy about it. I mean, tell us, what have you had?
The F8, Tributo, Ferrari.
The back of that F8, the rear is absolutely incredible.
For sure.
That is one of the most, I'm going to be honest with you, I love Ferrari. I don't think right now that stylistically they are keeping up with Lamborghini. I think Lamborghini has been separating themselves for a while stylistically. I also know that if you're a Ferrari man, you're a Ferrari man. So you look like I just, committed sacrilege.
Yeah.
By saying that, but
I'm out of here. This guy's talking about what?
The F8 is absolutely incredible, and I love that car. So F8 Tributo, you've had that, but let's stay on task. So we'll circle back around to that. So we're at Bugatti. Next two, last two.
I got to keep Ferrari in there.
Okay, so F8.
I mean? So so we're Bugatti, Koenigsegg, Pagani, Ferrari, and I would probably give my last nod to. It's Rolls Royce still. Yeah, we're gonna keep Rolls Royce in there.
Okay. Best car you've ever owned?
It's Rolls Royce.
Which one?
Rolls Royce. Seriously, I know you're probably sounding like I'm in a cult or something,
right.
But I'm telling you, there's two things about Rolls Royce and Ferrari. Out of those two, they set a certain precedence, and they, just ownership alone. There's so many different perks and benefits that comes to ownership of those two.
Okay. Such as?
Oh, you get invitations to all kinds of events. I mean, world-class events. Ferrari does track events all the time. You get invited to track events. You get invited to exclusive previews of, and same thing with Rolls-Royce, invited to exclusive previews of models that haven't yet been released to the public. Ferrari also sends me out a daily publication, which keeps me updated on everything that's going on with Ferrari.
And we know you like to research. I'm sure you read all of those.
I get gifts. I've had bags sent, from them.
It's incredible.
Yeah. Models of cars they've sent me. I have been invited out to the manufacturer by Rolls-Royce. I was able to see the new Rolls-Royce Spectre, the electric one, before it was even shown to the public. No pictures were allowed. Literally, when I went to the manufacturer, the plant, the room that everything was in was like a theater that was built around the car. I mean, it was lights and different things and monitors that had stuff on the screens and stuff dropping out the ceiling.
Wow.
And then literally this thing lifted up the screen and it was, bam, it was there. And we couldn't have no phones. Like, they took the phones away from us, put them up, so there was no way you were going to get any pictures of it. All you could do is, I got to sit in it, take a look at it, spec out my own car. I couldn't even take the spec with me because, again, they kept this thing under wraps so crazy. But it was a hell of an experience.
Worst car you've ever owned?
Worst car I ever owned? I don't think I had a bad car.
Ever in life?
I don't think so. I mean, I'll tell you, my very first nice car was a Mazda Millennia.
I used to love those.
It was it. Like, if you had one of those as a youngster when they first came out,
you were it.
That was it. Like, that was a boss car to have at that time.
That was the that was the successor to the 929.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God.
The 929, and then bam, it was the Millennium. So I had the Millennium, and that was one of my first, I felt like, really nice cars. My very first car, Ford Taurus. And it was a car that was in a collision, had to be repaired, completely restored, and then I put it back in another wreck. So no more.
Before you part with us today, leave us with a couple of gems. So again, I just wanted to double back to this. If you had to give us, 2 or 3 points where if we wanted to be in a position to own these vehicles, a car enthusiast is a certain type of individual. We love them. It doesn't matter if we can afford them, if we can't. We want to aspire to drive certain things. If we're to get there through real estate development and we wanted to start today, what are the 2 or 3 things that we need to do right now? We're already ambitious. Okay, let's assume that we've got that covered. Wheels and Wealth is not the channel where you get to come on board and you get to say, hey, you just got to have, drive above every. We got to drive. We're ambitious.
We're ambitious.
We want to know how to avoid, what are some of the pitfalls that we need to avoid, that maybe some landmines you stepped on, and it blew you up, but because you've been through that, you know how to avoid that. Just 2 or 3 short points. What do we avoid and what do we do today to get our first property to get things going?
I would say that the number one thing is the value of ownership. Definitely making sure that whatever it is that you're driving, make sure that you're the one that's driving. So if you can create something, whatever it is, it could be anything. A piece of paper, if it's not real estate, whatever it is, you got to be the person that's in control to be able to pull the trigger on moves when it's time to make the moves.
Okay. So I'll take from that you got to have the decision-making ability.
You have to.
Okay.
Right. Secondly, you want to make sure that whatever it is that you're invested in, that you're invested in yourself first. My motto is invest in yourself, invest in others.
How do I do that?
How do you invest in yourself?
As it pertains to real estate.
Okay. So, the number one way is, I know people hate to hear it, but there's a ton of seminars and things like that are out there. There's somebody out there that has information that's worth you paying for. And I know people are like, I don't want to give these guys money to go to this seminar or this talk or this. Believe me, I've gone to some seminars of people who I know haven't yet reached the level that I have in success with what it is that I do.
That's funny. I was going to ask you that.
But I still go to their seminars because I know that there's a room there, and in that room, you never know who's going to be in the room.
With a $17 million portfolio, you're still paying for seminars, and you're going to get the
I get invited to a lot of them without paying these days, but...
Who do you look up to in the real estate game?
In real estate?
Yeah.
Don Peebles would be one person, and that's pretty much right now. I'm there. I'm in my own place.
Okay.
So there's some other people that I can think of, but I don't think that they're names that'll really ring any bells with anybody.
Okay, gotcha. Have the decision-making ability, okay?
Absolutely.
And don't be afraid to make those decisions.
Invest in yourself.
Invest in yourself.
Invest in others.
Invest in others.
So you're going to this seminar. The seminar, they want, $300 or whatever. Some of them are even less than that. You're invested in that person. Outside of yourself, you're paying that money. Yes, you're paying that money. Yes, you're going to give this person who has knowledge and information, you're going to give them money. You should, right? You're investing in them. Now, given the opportunity, you guys get in a room, you connect, you could possibly get that person to invest in you. Or if not that person, there's plenty of other people in the room who I'm sure have something to offer. Those are the people that you're going to get to invest in you.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time. Before we leave, is there anything that you want to plug? You want to promote a brand? You've got anything that you want to plug that you're doing right now that you want the public to know about?
You can follow me at The Development Don on Instagram. The Development Don on Instagram. And I'll keep you updated on all of the happenings of my current development deals and also any opportunities to be able to be a mentor, a mentee of mine. You can find me there on Instagram.
Gary Murray, thank you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate
Let's
you.
take that ride. We got to get out in the Cullinan, man, and get rolling.